Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell. Not only does it help us out, you'll know exactly when we have another one brewing. This week's movie is going to be Drop Dead Fred. Fellas, let's take a ride on this mental case.
Man, I remembered this movie existing, and that is all that I had coming into this. This is a weird one.
All right. So as a child, this was a staple for me. I thought Drop Dead Fred was hilarious. It's about a zany imaginary character for a girl who's having, difficulties in her life with an overbearing mom and a husband that's cheating on her. And it all culminates with them coming back together and her conquering all these issues. But when you go back and watch this as an adult, you can see that there's a lot of, issues with bad domestic relationships. You see a lot of gaslighting. There's adultery. He's constantly just abusing this woman, not physically, but mentally. And it's causing her to have stress-induced delusions a la Fred all over again.
I'm going to rest myself on the opposite end of the spectrum because I do remember seeing this as a kid. And even then, there was something that didn't mesh. There was this weird dissonance. I felt like at the time the humor was definitely for me, but the situation I just didn't understand. And going back now and rewatching it because of the show, oh man, this is a really heavy subject matter, and I feel like the filmmakers had no fucking idea how to translate this in the film.
Yeah, I definitely had a little bit of that dissonance as well. It's the humor itself is very childlike. It kind of reminded, we talked about The Frighteners not long ago. It gave me that sort of cartoon imaginary character vibe, or you've even got I don't know, every character that Robin Williams has played in his lifetime. You got a little bit of that too. But man, this movie's actually pretty fucking dark.
Speaking of Robin Williams, the guy who played Fred in this movie definitely feels like he was Robin's friend in high school, and when Robin told a joke, he would tell the same joke but worse.
Oh.
I thought he was like the dime store Jim Carrey.
Maybe. I mean, to be honest, this feels like a really shit Beetlejuice.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. The vibe that I was getting from him was a combination of Alan Cumming and Matthew Lillard. Just smashed together and give him Dudley Moore's hair.
Okay, yeah, because he is lanky, he's wacky, so I get it totally.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, he's got an English accent.
Because it's cool.
I've got a theory on that, but we'll come back to that when it becomes a little bit more appropriate.
So the story opens up with just that. The main character, as a child, being told a story about how you should be a good, dedicated wife. That way your man doesn't leave you, and that's scary. And she shows you that as a child, she's not having it. She's like, that's a pile of shit, the story. And you go, okay, she gets it at an early age. She gets it.
Yeah, this is like a child at this point. Very Matilda, is that her name?
We'll just say Phoebe Cates, because that is Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe Cates is coming back, and I am all about it. Anytime we can have a Phoebe Cates appearance on the cast, that's a good cast.
Maybe we should do Fast Times or something.
Absolutely, we should. How old was she in that? Old enough to party? All right.
We have this young girl, and she's dealing with basically a mother who has been indoctrinated, and I don't know why, led astray to believe that she has to act a certain way in front of her husband and blah, blah, blah. While every time it shows the father, he seems to be very understanding, very caring, very aloof, and just happy to be home. So it's kind of misleading.
I know exactly what they're trying to portray, but it's kind of just not presented or told very well. It's kind of like that generational thing. I'm pretty sure Phoebe Cates' mom's mom was a total piece of shit. That made her a total piece of shit. And all this is just cascading down onto her shoulders. Her dad got driven away by her mom's antics, and she had such a heavy hand on her through her entire life that Phoebe Cates herself was having issues in her relationship with this guy who's totally banging broads left and right. And she's still just oh, but it's my husband, it's my boo, come on.
But you did mention her father, and that was what I was going to sort of tie to the imaginary friend, Fred. Daddy has an English accent as well. I don't know if you noticed that. So I'm thinking Fred is just a replacement for the father that mom chased away.
Yeah. Maybe it's not bad, but like he existed while he was around, so like I don't know.
She has Fred, and Fred is this basically 6 foot tall leprechaun man. And
Yeah.
he goes banana, calls her snot face, wipes boogers on her, messes with her hair. Basically, the best friend that every little kid wanted. All the things that she wanted to do, Fred encouraged her to do. And her mother would always be like, hey, you're doing the wrong thing. She goes, well, it wasn't me, it was Fred. And this led to, of course, her taking away Fred, because Fred decided to hide in a Jack-in-the-Box.
Mhm.
And she taped it up and said, you will never, ever, 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 ever open this again. And after that moment, she starts to be kind of force-fed the narrative, I suppose.
Yeah, and actually the first thing that we see as, you know, Phoebe Cates' character, I don't even know what her character's name is, honestly. Phoebe Cates. The first thing that we see from her is actually contacting her husband, and he's just like, you know, you're right. We can't go on. I'm gonna go live with my mistress. She has bewitched me. I'm gonna go. So
The fact that he chooses to say bewitched is hilarious. He's like gaslighting this woman, saying, oh yeah, it was your idea for me to go off with this lady. It was all your idea, sweetheart. She's like, really? Yes.
100%.
And then just hangs up. Like the movie paints the guy as like the dirtbag he should be. You know, even to the comical sense, to the nth degree, that's fine. Like the guy works at a Jag dealership, you know, because you know all the evil villains just own Jags. That's fine. That's actually a really good joke. But the thing is, the way Phoebe Cates' role is written or even portrayed just makes her feel lifeless. Like these things are, like I said earlier, so heavy. Like she's going through some hard shit with her relationship. Her husband basically said, yeah, I'm just going to bang this broad for the rest of my life. Peace. That's fine. There was never a moment where, even though we explored the notion of like getting back into a relationship that has basically crumbled, she never really has that moment of just sadness or anything, or like acceptance of the moment and trying to figure out what to do next. She immediately just tries to fucking hop on his dick, do whatever she can to get him back. And it doesn't feel very genuine that way.
It's very odd because the way that you're saying that, you know, she's dealing with this is zero. She does nothing to deal with any of it. And all this in the opening bit, she literally, in the span of the first, 5 minutes of us getting to see adult her 21 years later after Fred, is she loses everything. And I'm saying everything. She loses her husband. She loses her car. She loses her purse. She loses her fucking job as a courtroom stenographer in 5 minutes. And she just goes, Charles.
Yeah, I know, and like I get like this is supposed to be at some level a wacky comedy, and there's supposed to be that levity. You know, maybe she's that character where you can just like throw shit at her and it kind of bounces back, but it doesn't. It just kind of gets absorbed into this black hole of nothingness. Like she almost comes off as a little sociopathic in a way, or like she absolutely does have some like dark mental issues, but then that just kind of rubs everything else the wrong way the movie's trying to be with its comedy.
Well, like at a certain point when all this is going on, you're going to become numb to it. Like even if it's just the relationship stuff, you get kind of numb to it. But then you've got, you know, somebody stole your car, somebody stole your purse. It's hard to exert all of the emotional muscle that would be appropriate when you've got all of this landing on your plate all at once.
Look, that's totally understood. But it just the fact how this movie exists, it still doesn't work to me. Like, it's still just like, this is supposed to be a plucky comedy with these really hard topics, but it's just the way it's handled and the way it's acted or portrayed or written or however the hell we got Phoebe Cates to just be as much of a blank slate as she comes off in this movie. It almost feels like it's maybe started as a darker comedy, but we're just like, well, you know what? PG-13 sells a lot more tickets.
Perhaps. Because there's even a moment a little bit later where she literally falls into her new love interest's arms, but she's too wrapped up in Charles to even see that this dude, from the first fucking second you meet this character, Mickey, you go, this is literally the guy who was meant for her. And he is telling her right there, oh, you just got fired? I'm getting a divorce. She goes, oh, you can't get a divorce. Divorces are bad. He goes, oh, well, I tried my best, but it's better for both of us this way. Hey, what's going on with you? She's like, my life sucks. And he goes, well, you were always awesome in my book. And she goes, Charles.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't really like this guy.
I don't even think he's supposed to be written as likable. I think he was just written as just like a safety net for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like in the blankest way possible. Like there's just like nothing there. Like what if he was basically her just with like a childlike attitude, almost like a bridge between her and Fred.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. What he reads to me is this guy had a crush on her in like high school or whatever. You know, they've drifted apart, had their own lives, and now he's gotten divorced. She's on her way to a divorce. Now it looks like he just wants to follow her around like a little puppy because he has a second chance.
Hey, do you remember when Fred did all that crazy shit at my house? Fred was wild, yo. And then it's just that meme of that little girl looking at the camera of the house burning in the background. Fred did it.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is about when we get introduced to Fred, not even as like a concept, like as an actual person on screen. So, like we said, her whole life falls apart. Everything is pretty much taken away from her. So her mom jumps right back into the picture, as awful as she actually is. And, you know, she goes to her room and she finds that Jack in the Box and, you know, it pops open and whoa, 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 it's fucking Drop Dead Fred. And I have to admit, for like the first 5-10 minutes of him just like goofing the fuck off on screen, it wasn't terrible.
You got 5 or 10 minutes of not terrible?
I got, well, off the cuff, I got to the point like after the first kitchen scene. And then after that, I was like, oh, this is the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
He gets one scene. He gets to be unveiled. Ah, here's Fred. Look how fucking zany he is. And it's really crazy because, well, I won't say crazy. It's really clever to me that Fred got locked up with the, you know, imagination of a, 6-7-year-old idea of fun. And he pops out to this now nearly 30-year-old woman, and he's trying to do the same things. And I enjoy the fact that she just looks at him like, this is fucking stupid. Like, what are you doing?
Like on that page, I actually enjoyed how there was a moment of, I'm going to do the same shit that, you know, we did when we were 6 or 7 or whatever. And he's just like trying to cheer her up in the same way he did like 30 years ago, but it's just not working.
Yeah, like I'm going to go outside and step in all of the dog poo, and then I'm going to come in and stomp around all over your mom's brand newly shampooed carpet. She's going to love it. Poo, 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 just everywhere. Ooh, in the chair too, all of this dog poo.
Dude, the way he was saying that, I was just like, fuck, this is some really awful improv.
Yeah, stinky, sticky dog poo. And I did love, though, she has that little red velvet divider where you're not supposed to go in the room.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be doing a handstand flip into the room. And all they really did was have the actor of Fred with this pudding or whatever all over his feet jump into the room. And when he does, the pudding causes him to slide and bust his ass.
Yeah. I remember that because I was like, man, that's real. And he tried his best just to get back up, be like, stinky doo doo. Oh, fuck.
Oh, I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, snot face, get my hip replaced.
And like, just before it gets a little grating, we go into the kitchen. Fred sees her mom for the first time in like 30 years or whatever, 20 years. And the fucking line he belts off is the single hearty laugh I got out of this whole fucking movie. He stands in the doorway, looks right over at her making a sandwich. He's like, look, it's her! Mega bitch!
Yep.
This moment is just so oddly genuine in a movie that handles everything else kind of improperly.
Yeah, like I remember that happening, but the big thing that it triggered to me was thinking, yeah, this is not a PG. This is PG-13, right? Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Having laughed at that and legitimately enjoyed the moment, just how fucking brash it was, it kind of hurt my heart a little bit because he brings that line up multiple times in the movie and it's clearly dubbed as Mega Beast. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, no. Like later when he's talking to Phoebe as a child, that's when he says Mega Beast because she's a child, doesn't want to curse in front of the child. But when she's an adult, that's the Mega Bitch.
I feel like that was shot after the fact then, because there are like clearly times in this movie that have been ADR'd. And like I get like it's not the best. They probably just did what they had to do to cover it up later on in production. But you can't just like fucking pull out the 6-shooter and immediately just put it back in the holster, because that was a genuinely good joke.
Yeah, they could have ran with that for sure.
I know there's a certain amount of F-bombs that you can drop in a PG-13 movie. It's 1 before it moves up to an R. Is there a quota on the B word?
You can get like 1 fuck or 3 bitches or 1 fuck and a shit, or you could do a shit and one bitch and maybe a poop.
What's the conversion rate on these?
This is the best way to learn how to get change for $1.
Yes.
So there's one other little thing on this that kind of surprised me. In this same scene with Mom, like the very first scene, he like takes a peek up her skirt. Again, this is PG-13, you know? And he's like, ooh, cobwebs.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Even as a child, that got a chuckle out of me. I didn't understand what it meant, but I still laughed. And as an adult, I was like, she ain't getting laid. And I laughed.
It is goofy, but what kind of like not sells it and what kind of like puts a damper on the situation is that this is the first moment in the movie where he can go just 0 to 10 as quick as he pleases. Like he's out there just going like whoopity doopity doo, shabity hoo, or whatever in the fucking kitchen. Look, cobwebs. And she's just kind of like, I don't know, just distant. It just felt weird.
To me, that was her trying to play it off like, nope, I don't see him. I'm not crazy. And I don't know how she didn't fucking lose her shit whenever, because I did. This is my genuine, heartfelt chuckle, and I don't know why. He looks out the window and he sees pigeons out there, and he goes, "You've been having sex? Ooh, so nasty. Who taught you? Was it the pigeons?" And he just goes after the fucking pigeons for teaching her how to fuck. Like, what?
Wait, do pigeons do that?
Well, it's the birds or the bees at that point.
I just thought they had a cloaca. I don't even know how they're gonna...
Well, speaking of gross stuff like that, in the middle of all this, like, he's goofing off and he gets his head stuck in the fridge. And I don't fucking know whose idea this was. But he gets his head caught in the fridge like a Looney Tune. Fine. He pulls his head out and it's flat. And the makeup effects, I don't know if they're impressive or horrifying, because that is the ugliest fucking thing I've seen in a long time.
To me, the neck stretch was more horrifying because it just looked like a big veiny dick.
What? I don't remember this at all.
You don't remember like the flesh tube?
The flesh tube?
Man.
Yeah, it's gross. The whole thing's nasty. And like I get it's for like the goof laugh, but like that got past how many people?
Can we expand on the flesh tube?
I think it like the definition would probably be under like docking or something.
Oh. So he gets his head slammed in the door and he's like, "Oh, I got to get out of here." And he starts pulling and his neck begins to stretch. It starts at a normal neck size, begins to elongate slightly, and you go, "Oh, okay." Pans back inside the fridge to show you Fred's face going, Hands back outside. The fucking neck is now as big as the horse's dick from Freddy Got Fingered.
Nice.
And it's vascular. It's just a big dick. Yeah, someone went to the porn store, bought an oversized dildo, slammed it in the fridge, and went, "That's it."
That's it. That's Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah, so if we haven't mentioned it, she has a friend that isn't Fred, and it's Carrie Fisher, who I guess they're best friends, but to me, it looks like Carrie Fisher is old enough to be Phoebe Cates' mom in this. Is that just me?
Something like that.
There's some age discrepancies here that I'm a little bit uneasy with, I'll say. Because Phoebe's husband, or ex-husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, whatever, he's like 60.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed that immediately, like, when the camera panned around to his face. I was like, why is he just some old fuck?
Yeah, and Carrie Fisher, that's her best friend, and Carrie Fisher looks probably 40. Phoebe Cates in this looks, I don't know, 25. And then the guy that Carrie Fisher is canoodling with, or whatever, her boyfriend, or whatever, he is absolutely a 70-year-old. Like, I looked it up. He is, in the time of this movie, he is 63 years old.
Good for him. You know,
I guess.
Because the whole thing was just like weird. Like, I think the movie was trying to play it off like that's the joke. The way it's presented is kind of like business as usual. You know, like the joke's there, but it just never lands. Because like she goes to her like boathouse or whatever, and they're fucking around and like post whatever they're doing, and she sticks around for that, by the way. And they're just like putting their clothes back on. It's like, I just gotta go to work, you know, just fucking rubbed one out. Time to go sell some cereal or wherever the fuck they work at.
Just fucked my wife. Gotta work. Goddamn, what a bummer.
100%.
Carrie Fisher is the mistress in his relationship. So he has a wife, but he also has a Carrie Fisher.
Ah,
gotcha.
Very good.
She gets to stay on the houseboat.
Yeah, that's her houseboat.
Note to self:
So
get a houseboat.
Absolutely, it pays off in dividends.
now, to me, this movie shines in its flashback periods, and we're about to get
Yeah.
one of those because Fred has just explained that he's back because she's unhappy, and he plans to help her fix the marriage, just like he helped her fix her father and mother's marriage, which he did not. He ends up getting him arrested by pretending that they're going to play burglars. And this is the cutest little scene. And again, Fred shines in these flashbacks. I don't know. Like, he's basically telling her, you're not useless. Be yourself. Be happy. Fuck everyone else. And I love that.
I gotta agree with you. Like the flashback scenes with the small Phoebe Cates and Fred, even though like at face value, yeah, even at face value, it can be like maybe creepy at worst. But the thing is, I feel like this should have been the movie. I feel like there should have been something right here, and it would have come off as almost like a like a Home Alone ripoff if you want to. But you can see genuine playfulness between Fred and the child, and they're just goofing off, having a good time. He says something ridiculous and gets a genuine laugh from her. They're just being goofy, and I was having a good time.
Yeah, I still don't really understand why Dad got taken away. Like, she and Fred were playing, robbers. We're gonna go into the house. We're gonna pretend like there's jewels and gold and stuff all over the place, and we're gonna toss it in this little garbage bag. And then Dad gets arrested for something.
The movie wants you to feel like it was Fred's fault at some degree, but dude fucking jumped on a cop. Like, dude, that's assault on a police officer. I know he gets arrested and taken away. He did it. Like, it wasn't Fred. And I know, like, it totally fucks up the whole family situation. This is like the new normal.
And speaking of new normal, what I've got here today is from Smog City Brewing Company out of Torrance, California. That's just a little bit south of here. This is the new normal. It's their export lager. This is a little bit sweet. Got a little bit of that biscuit, a little bit of that bread. It's actually a little bit sweeter than what I'd like in a lager, but it's not bad at all. It's just like a real, true, full-bodied, this isn't a light lager, this is a full-bodied lager with actually a little bit of hops on the back end that just gives you a little bit of that backbone, a little bit of that bite that closes it out. Just nice. This is pretty solid, honestly. A little bit sweet for me, but it's definitely a solid brew.
Well, speaking of full-bodied, snap back to Phoebe Cates. So she's like left to her devices. She had just woken up from the dream we were describing. She cut her hair. It's all kind of like half Karen, half not. Well, she starts just kind of like moseying around like her friend's place. Like, I know they're best friends maybe, but like she just starts to get into shit. And it's kind of weird, right? Because like I know that Drop Dead Fred is like the amalgamation of her oppressed urges and just being wacky as a kid and into an adult, but then like she starts to make these awful decisions.
Yeah, she does.
These aren't even decisions where it's like wacky, like, there's poo on the floor. Like, she fucking takes this boat on a joyride, and as soon as she leaves the dock, I'm just like, that fucking thing's going in the water.
Yeah, dude. She sees this guy on a speedboat and is like, oh my god, that's Charles, that's my husband, we've got to catch up with him. Fred, figure out how to get this thing going.
That's the pivotal moment. She sees Charles, quote unquote Charles, in a speedboat. And she's like, oh my god, that's Charles. I want to chase him. And who shows up? Pirate Fred, to help her make that decision to go that extra step, to fucking chase Charles in this paddle boat. And it's not even Charles, and she wrecks the fucking boat.
She does. And the hijinks are just like at their most hijinkery, I guess. He goes down to the boiler room, starts trashing stuff. He somehow like puts a hole in the bow and it like sprays up like a geyser. Mm-hmm. And then they just hard cuts to like the boat already in the water, just wee woo. I was like, what? You can't just, there's like a whole boat missing.
Yeah, they don't even like cover how they got off the boat. Like, I guess it's pretty close to land already, but it's just like it goes from like, oh, we've sprung a leak to that's a dead ass boat.
Oh goodness.
So at this point, she goes to Carrie Fisher's place of work and is like, hey, girl, I got some news. Your boat, it's not a thing anymore.
Fred sank it.
But didn't she like have like some kind of like extra, not even like a breakdown, but like she has a moment. Because
she does.
Like Fred goes to the boardroom, sits next to the old guy Princess Leia's banging. And you think there's going to be more nonsense, but the movie actually does something kind of clever. So Princess Leia walks in, tries to play along. It's like, oh, Fred's in the seat. Well, Fred, get out of here. I'm going to wheel you out. And so, like, the actor, Fred, is in the seat. And then in the wide shot, he's gone. So, like, it's obvious, like, Phoebe Cates is the only one that can see this fella in the green suit. She wheels him through the room. And right when they get to the door, there's a wall in the way. They get into the hallway and he's back because we're with Phoebe Cates again. I was like, that's pretty good. I'm on board with that. That is a clever thing for an imaginary friend. And then Princess Leia starts being a dumbass in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, she starts like slapping at this imaginary person in the chair, and Rick Mayall, who was the guy that plays Drop Dead Fred, if we haven't mentioned his name, Rick Mayall, that's his name. He does kind of a great job in this scene. He just pulls up beside Phoebe Cates and is just like, what's she doing?
Yeah, he's deflecting now, and it's very interesting because he's well aware of what she's trying to do. She's supposed to be beating his ass with her shoe in the middle of the floor. And Fred's like, huh, sucks for her. She looks crazy. And
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, everyone from her board meeting comes out into the hall and is like, damn, this bitch is crazy.
It's almost like they just told her, be like, act as if you got your hands on your agent for being in this movie. And she just goes hog wild.
Ooh, yeah. But this leads to one of the more plot point portions of the movie where Phoebe Cates has now reached her limit. She's exhausted all of her friends. They're no longer willing to deal with her. And she kind of has a breakdown. And Fred is always there. She's at the mall trying to relax. And again, Fred is there. And there's a violinist, and they're playing beautiful music. But to her, it's not the violinist. It's Fred, and he is screeching away on this thing. And she just walks up calmly and gently whacks Fred with her purse, and then escalates to beating him with the purse. And it pans back to show that it's not Fred. It's just some little lady trying to play the violin.
Yeah. And at this point in the movie, I was just like, wait a minute. Like, I understand the flexibility that they built in with, like, Fred being able to interact with the real world and stuff, because I kind of got the notion that, like, the things he did were maybe actually her. But at this point, it was just like, oh, is she schizophrenic?
Yeah, she might be. Yeah, and I think that's what her mom starts thinking too. Like, she probably should have thought this a while back, but mom has to come in and like write a check for the violin that she broke. And the next thing you know, she is in a psychiatrist's office, and this is a psychiatrist that specializes in, quote, imaginary friend syndrome.
Worst scene in the whole fucking movie.
Really? I actually thought this was a kind of a highlight.
Ah, dude, when all the imaginary friends are there and they're going fucking bananas, I checked out.
This is definitely one of the more like childish ends of the movie. Like it keeps bouncing back and forth between, is this a kid's movie or is this real fucking dark?
Yeah.
And this is the part where it's a kid's movie. You get, all these kids with imaginary friends going to see psychiatrists, and all of the imaginary friends are right there. They're just like chilling out, having a good time, being bonkers.
That's perfect. That's a perfect explanation for the scene, because I like the notion of these individual imaginary friends kind of hanging out. And like, if you have an imaginary friend, you can only see yours. So like, you have that moment of kind of like standing outside of yourself. Like, this is what other people see when you're doing dumb shit.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I can totally see how this is just like a little too, like you said, bonkers. It just goes back to what I said earlier. Like, this movie kind of mishandles its own contents. And even though this kind of worked for me, I can definitely see how this is just like completely ridiculous elsewhere or to someone else.
There's a few layers here.
Like an onion.
Or an ogre.
I mean, might as well be. A lot of this movie's kind of smelly. Lock the dog do.
Stinky dog do.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
So she goes to this psychiatrist, and what's the solution? Drugs.
Hell yeah.
She gets Valtrax.
I thought Valtrax was for like herpes.
I feel like Fred could be described as a herpy. I get
I
it.
don't have herpes.
Yep.
And plus, like, the whole. But it's kind of funny how, like, the war on drugs, we're already just like won by the drugs at this point, because they're just like, you gotta go home and just take your big old pill a day, and as soon as you finish the bottle, Drop Dead Fred will go away.
Yeah, and Like the other imaginary friends are even like shouting at Fred as they're leaving together. Don't let her take the green ones.
I kind of wish there was a moment because like they know, what happens when you take the pills. I kind of wish there was a moment where it's like, you don't want to know what happened to Billiam. Just like some random character you like will never see because he got pilled away.
Yes.
Did you say Billiam?
There's like sitting in the corner of the room is like the most perfectly well-behaved, well-dressed little child.
Yeah, and that's the kid who took Cialis or whatever you said.
That's a
I don't
dick
have
bill.
herpes.
He's just that kid from fucking Smoking Aces.
So now she's at home with the pills and a nurse to make her take them, and he's like, "Snotface, don't do that. Don't take the pills. You'll kill me." He's like, "Don't worry about it. I got your back, Fred. Let's go see my husband at this party." And boy, oh boy, they show up dressed to the quote-unquote 9. And he looks like a mix between Dumb and Dumber and one of the Lollipop Guild.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He looks like fucking the mayor of Whoville.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Definitely a gentleman from the Emerald City, for
Mhm.
sure. But yeah, we're at this party, and like for some reason, like I guess they couldn't think of anything new for Fred to do. Like for the next latter half of the movie, like he's basically just like reusing gags that he's already belted out.
Yeah, you know what I
we
like to
get-
do is scoot around on the ground and look at Coochie.
Don't we all?
I'm gonna make my eyes bug out like I'm a fucking cartoon character.
Oh,
I am
like
a
the
cartoon
mask?
character. Yeah,
Bingo.
Auga! But
yeah,
like,
100%. Maybe that's why I get the Alan Cumming vibes.
okay, yeah. Oh, that's Son of Mask. Yikes.
Mm. And fucking Brady, you said Jim Carrey.
Correct.
And-
it's
And I
just the
said,
math.
yeah, and Jamie Kennedy was in Son of Mask too. Fuck.
Oh man, this is the biggest unintentional crossover of all time.
You know who else was somehow tied to this? Kevin Bacon.
He's just there.
Was he tied to this in somehow? That's a big oof.
No, I'm pretty sure that if we were like Kevin Bacon, he would get in contact with us and go, "Look, take me out of that."
Yeah. Cease and desist.
Bingo.
Yeah. But no,
Right.
I think we just had like a big unintentional oof there about how so many parallels compare this to Mask, and it's much, much worse sequel, Son of Mask.
Well, hey, speaking of much worse sequels, the scene after this one is much worse.
Mm.
Phoebe
True.
Cates gets to go out with her, I guess, boyfriend at this point. I don't know. The guys actually like him or not. He's trying. He's just like,
He's
listen,
trying.
we're at wit's end, but you know what? We're kind of a perfect fit because we're both fucking crazy at this point.
No,
And
I kind of love that. Like he shows up at the house with like a present, and everyone just acknowledges like, you can't do this. She's crazy, and she's just like, yep, I'm crazy.
And he's just like, fuck, dude, right on.
Yeah.
He just looks right at the mom, dead in the eyes, with that turned back thriller stare, and goes, "Crazy bitches had the best pussy," and then just puts her right in his truck.
He just stirs some mac and cheese just for the sound.
Yes, and
Oh.
Fred's stirring the mac and cheese. He goes, "Snotface, you're gonna get railed."
I just like those pigeons.
Exactly. Oh, now the movie starts to movie and wrap itself up. She finds out that once again, Charles is a fucking scumbag and he's cheating on her, even though he was like, "Nuh-uh." And this gives her the freedom to start standing up for herself after she has this delusion with Fred, where she passes out and her and Fred become one to go face her inner demon.
We somehow fall into the set of Beetlejuice for whatever the fuck reason. I mean,
Dude,
like,
yes.
I get it's supposed to be like Dreamland, but at this point, I realized, like, oh, wait a minute. Was this movie trying to like pull some Tim Burton shit the whole time, but absolutely did not know how to handle its own contents?
Not the whole time. It was just like, man, I love that movie Beetlejuice. Let's have a Beetlejuice scene.
They just
She
got the
falls
juice.
onto the set of Budget Juice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It's also the point in the movie where it takes all of its references to, I guess, mental disability, for lack of a better term, and just kind of like personify them. But it comes off in a way as just non-genuine.
Yeah,
Like-
definitely non-genuine. Like, I'm going to make a big joke out of some terrible mental health issues.
Yeah. Yeah, like you have the moment where like she literally deflates the situation with her now ex-husband. He flies away like a lost balloon. She goes
Correct.
up the steps to find the boss fight, her mother. She's like, "You
Mhm.
can't do shit," and she's just like, "Yeah, I can." Fuck! It's just like there's no resolution there. It's just basically showing like, "Hey, you've got these problems," and as an audience member, you're like, "Yeah, I know. Can we
I mean,
solve anything?"
Fred's trying to do his best to solve them. He's like, "Come on, let me at your mom. I'm not afraid of her. When she comes down, I'm gonna cut her head off with scissors and make her eat it. Then I'll eat the rest of her."
Fuck
I-
yeah.
That's fucking
Fred ain't
brutal.
fucking around.
No.
Yeah, I kind of wish that was the angle the movie went. Like he's like, "All right, we're just gonna kill your mom, and it's gonna be really fun." And she's gonna be like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. You're just goofing off." And he just like walks in with her head on a platter. Look, I did it. It's dog shit.
So you want Fred to be like a serial killer and Phoebe to just be like, "Oh, Fred, you've done it again." Wah, wah, wah.
The womp. But well, I just wanted it to pick a side. It's clearly, once again, bringing up these heavy topics, but it's trying to make me laugh in a childish way. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I get it, but none of this lands.
So I think and I just started thinking about this. I think there are two filmmakers that could have pulled this off. We've mentioned one. Tim Burton could have made this and could have done like a great job with it, I feel like.
Yeah, it
But if
would be. Well, let me just butt in for a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's almost like it would have been like a companion piece to like Edward Scissorhands or something.
Yeah, if you want to get real weird with it, give this to John Waters and see what he can do.
Ooh, there's gonna be somebody eating shit.
I mean, it
Literally.
comes up. Yeah.
Yeah. Get me them eggs. Oh, that fucking movie.
It's
Eggy
got to come up
wiggy.
at some point. It's got to
God
come up
damn
at
it.
some point.
So
Oh.
now she has grown emotionally, grown mentally, basically says,
Sure.
"Fuck you, mom. I love you, though. Fred, I love you, too." Gives him a little kiss. He goes away. The kiss is fucking weird, by the way, because they've had this weird sexual
Super
tension throughout
weird.
the film.
Super weird.
She hooks up with old boy. This, to me, is where, again, kind of like the flashback thing, the movie shines a little bit. She sees the daughter of the new guy, and she's got an imaginary friend, and who else could it be but Fred? And I thought that was a cute way to wrap it up. Everything in between, whatever.
Also, it leaves you wide open for a sequel if this movie somehow was successful.
Ah, yes. Drop Dead Fred 2. Judgment Day.
Even Freddier.
Oh,
Oh, fuck. Is that where he gets fingered?
yes, Drop Dead Fred 2. Freddy got fingered. That's not soap on a rope. Or, goddamn it, that's not a treasure. That's goddamn soap on a rope, Fred.
Oh, that's what that's from. Okay.
Looks not nice. A treasure.
There is one line I want to talk about here. Back when, they're like Phoebe and Fred are having like a little bit of argument. "I don't need you, Fred. Why don't you just leave me alone?" And all this thing. There's a line that is absolutely fucking dark, taken out of context. And she says, "I'm going to take this last final pill. This is the goodbye pill."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally thought like she would have taken it and there would have been like some like wishy-washy thing where he's like in the middle of being dissolved forever, but like, we got the whole Tim Burton ripoff scene instead. So
No, it's cyanide. She's fucking suiciding herself.
Yep. She just ate the whole bottle.
Yep.
Be your last goddamn imaginary friend.
Mm-hmm.
it's like, she takes the last pill and the camera pans over. She was never taking the funny pill. She just had like a whole bottle of ibuprofen that she's been downing this whole time.
That'll build up in your liver.
I think it's got a lot of oof, especially now rewatching. But I also think it's a great introduction to dealing with life lessons for a child. This is a goofy way to show kids shit's going to get fucked up as you get older. Enjoy it while you can.
Okay, I dig that. And I know the missus is going to hate me for saying this, but this is not a bad movie. Doing some research on this thing for the show, it's fucking got its guts ripped out ever since it's been released. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because it's just a little mishandled. Like the message for like either mental instability, abuse, everything wrong with that is present in this movie, but I just feel like it just doesn't do any of that justice. There are a few laughs in here. The wackiness is present. Maybe there's a tiny bit of charm. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't like this at all. I thought Fred was just fucking annoying from the get-go. I would have just been telling him, Fred, go away, get back in your box. We got to get you back in the closet. The thing that kills me the most about this is the tone is very childish, very targeting children in that sort of comedy. But as we mentioned, the actual subject matter is pretty dark. We're talking about mental health issues that are not taken in a serious way at all. Like, of course, this is supposed to be a comedy, but any time that something like that is presented on the screen, it's just like goofy or she's crazy, or it's just, there's no angle that sets it straight all the way through for this movie at all. And I'm not into it. Like, there's potential, but it just falls flat all the way across the board.
Well, there you have it. That was Drop Dead Fred from 1991. If you have any strong feelings about the show or the movie, leave in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons too. Bash that bell icon so you know what we've got brewing up next.
Get out there and follow us on social media. We got YouTube, and you can literally find us on all places where podcasts can be enjoyed, y'all. We are fucking mass media. If not, we will wipe a booger on your face, and that's a pinky promise.